no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of. Yeah, this is Everton Blender. It's all about the young police from Jamaica. See Young Police Channel. Big up yourself. Everton Blender said that. We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid of.
If you're tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police Channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, injustice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action. Speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police Channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you will see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police Channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers, and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Those of you who are very close to Chargie Badness, and this is breaking news, that the Jungle Dan, Chargie Badness, Corrego Barnes, he's in Jamaica right now, and he talked about the Massacre, Mark Golding, and Raymond Pryce, Dayton Cameron, Peter Bunted wanted him to commit against the people of Clark Avenue, Gregor Park. That is the same people them where they had killed the elderly woman Sweeney and Rum Punch. So this is what they had planned. So that is one of the disagreement that he had with them. It was agreement on money and guns, and you're going to hear because in 2020 Raymond Pryce had given him 5 guns based on information we had obtained. Don't ask where we get information because you know that we're all over. It was 3 AK-47 rifles and 2 9mm pistols. And after the general election of 2020, and Raymond Pryce has asked him back for the guns, and Chargie Badness is not giving him. Tell him what to go and Laba Juice his mother. Yeah, so the dark politics of Gregor Park, how Chargie Badness exposed a sinister plot allegedly orchestrated by the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization network. So they want a massacre. So not only that, we are able to untangle this information or what they are planning. So you know that it's not only in Gregor Park, so more or less they are planning it island-wide against the Jamaica Labour Party voters the night before election. So this is what we had, the information that we had obtained from Chargie Badness. So Corrego, Chargie Badness, Che Barnes, a known figure within the volatile landscape of Gulf, Gregor Park, has long been recognized as a local enforcer and the de facto leader of a criminal operation that many claim is directly aligned with the People's National Party, or as yours truly has called it, the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, due to its increasingly controversial ties and ideological entanglement with criminals. Though publicly perceived as a street-level don or gang leader behind closed door, Chargie Badness has been far more than just a neighborhood enforcer. He has allegedly been a political tool weaponized to influence election and silence opposition through terror. This is a man that killed his sons, Mario's mother and her boyfriend whilst in prison. I saw the man staying and the man have some ego problem. So him believes that the woman for that prisoner should wait for him. So him killed the woman and her baby father. And even the woman when married to now, him killed that woman, baby father, who brought him into his circle, Dave Clans. That's how criminals operate. A recently alarming private disclosure from Chargie Badness himself has surfaced detail that sent chills down the spine of every law-abiding citizen of Jamaica, particularly those who reside in Gregory Park, St. Catherine. According to multiple private accounts, Chargie Badness expressed serious frustration with the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization leadership, particularly Mark Golding, that's a going to be the current party leader, the foreigner, and Raymond Pryce, the rear admiral, a former member of parliament and PNP LGBTQ plus insider. In a private conversation held, between him and his friends, Chargie reportedly revealed that both Golding and Pryce approached him with horrifying proposition to orchestrate a massacre in the GLP stronghold of Clark Avenue, St. Catherine, the night before election. That's how Raymond Pryce and Golding want him to do, to commit massacre on their behalf so that them can win election. So this plot is true. It was not only a criminal conspiracy, it was calculated, politically motivated act of domestic terrorism designed to intimidate residents, suppress voter turnout, and tilt the balance of power in favor of the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization by terrorizing JLP supporters into silence and fear. The era of Clark Avenue as well suffered deeply. It was the same location where Sweeney and Rumpunch were brutally murdered in August 23, and over 50 residents were left homeless. Acts widely believed to have political undertones. The plan, as Chargie Badness claimed, was to finish what they started, but this time on a far greater scale. Disturbingly, Chargie Badness recount how 5 illegal firearms were supplied to him by Raymond Pryce in 2020 general election. During that year, the goal at the time was allegedly to secure Gregory Park and surrounding areas for the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization through fear, not votes. After the election, Pryce reportedly requested the returns of the weapons, but Chargie refused, sending him away in anger and keeping the firearms. This act of defiance, according to Chargie, created significant tension between him and higher-ups in the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. More recently, when the call came once again to carry out violent acts before the upcoming election, Chargie made demands of his own. He requested more money to buy shots, that are ammunition, and additional guns to harm his young foot soldiers, whom he referred to as the low IQ youths from Gulf. These youths, often unemployed, undereducated, are easily manipulated and radicalized, used as pawns in a deadly game of political chess. But when Chargie realized that the promises of money and additional weapon were not going to materialize, because Raymond Pryce was telling him that the millions that he wants, he can't give him that because he have to use money for his campaign. It said that Chargie felt used, disrespected and discarded, merely a disposable tool in a broader, darker agenda of power, deceit and control. What this disturbing saga reveals is the dangerous intersection of criminality and politics in Jamaica. The PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, once a formidable political institution, now find itself accused of consorted with gangland figures to manipulate electoral outcomes through fear and bloodshed. That's what Michael Manley did in 1976 and 1980, but he lost in 1980 because the Jamaican people did not. They were tired of the violence and the killings of burying their loved ones for a white man to have power. These allegations will be investigated, remains to be seen, but the implications are undeniable. How can a democracy thrive when terror becomes a tool of political strategy? How can citizens vote freely when they are targeted for supporting the wrong party? These are not questions for tomorrow. They are urgent concerns for today. The people of Gregory Park, and by extension all Jamaicans, must wake up to the deadly politicization of violence. This is not simple garrison politics issue. It is a national crisis. If our nation permits criminals to use as political mercenaries, then we are no longer governed by ideas, but by intimidation. Chargie Badness, revelations, whether rooting in truth or ego or betrayal, must be taken seriously. We believe him because this was private conversation. This was not like him call me and say, boy, where I say junglist, and say, boy, Chris, this is what my plan. No, it wasn't like that. I would tell you already, say the phone is a two-way radio. We have Chargie Badness number. We're not going to tell you that. We're not going to disclose that. But Chargie Badness revelation is truth. The Office of Director of Public Prosecution, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, MOCA, and international observers should launch an immediate and thorough investigation into these allegations. The people deserve to know the truth. If political power is being sought through the blood of innocent Jamaicans, then we are not building a better Jamaica. We are heading down the path of destruction from which there may be no return. Let us be clear. Democracy dies when criminals are empowered by politicians, and no Jamaicans, Labour Right, PNP, LGBTQ plus criminal organization or otherwise, should accept such betrayal. So Chargie Badness, the jungle dan exposes chilling plots to massacre JLP supporter. Police must act now to protect innocent lives. Carriega Chargie Badness bonds the self-styled Dan from jungle and enforcer in Gregory Park Gulf community has allegedly revealed a terrifying plot that should alarm every Jamaican who values democracy and peace. In a moment of frustration and fallout with his political handlers, senior operatives within the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, Chargie reportedly admitted that he was tasked with supervising a politically motivated massacre the night before general election. According to his own words, the plan was to launch a coordinated attack on Clark Avenue and other JLP stronghold in Gregory Park across Portmore. The objective? To bathe these communities in blood and terror, thereby suppressing voter turnout and handing political advantage to the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization through violence and fear rather than democratic process. Chargie now finds himself at odds with the very individuals who empowered him, those who supplied weapons, promised funding, and allegedly orchestrated political assassinations from behind the scenes. His refusal to carry out this monstrous mission unless more money and guns were provided has led to a breakdown in the relationship. But what most alarming is this: the plot was real, the target was clear, and the intent was deadly. Now that this information has come to light and the police are aware of the plan, it is no longer just a political issue. It is a national security emergency. A call to action: protect the people before it's too late. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, in collaboration with the Jamaica Defence Force, must act swiftly and decisively. There must be no delay, no compromise, and no political hesitation when innocent lives are being targeted by organized political terror network masqueraded as legitimate parties. This is not mere speculation. Chargie Badness has names, cited weapons, revealed dates, and identified communities under threat. The massacre he was allegedly recruited to oversee would not have only taken innocent lives, but also would have shaken the very foundation of Jamaica's fragile democracy. This is domestic terrorism, not politics. The security force must deploy personnel to JLP communities like Clark Avenue, Gulf and adjacent areas to protect residents day and night. Launch a full-scale investigation into the involvement of known political operatives and their connections to criminal gangs. SSP Leighton grade 100 man him need for calling Chargie Badness. I met the detective them question him. Get him phone number so you can track him whilst he's in Jamaica. Interrogate and detain individual like Chargie Badness, who openly admits to possessing illegal firearms and participating in politically motivated violence. Use intelligence gathering and military reconnaissance to disrupt any planned attack or movements of illegal guns. A message to the public: this is not a political war, it's a war against democracy. Let the Jamaican people understand this is no longer about PMP versus JLP. This is about law and order versus lawlessness. This is about whether Jamaica remains a nation governed by votes or by violence. We're not going back to Michael Manley era, where it was a nation that governed by violence. If political parties, especially the one now referred to as the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, are willing to use criminal enforcers like Chargie Badness to terrorize and murder citizens for votes, then they are not fit to govern. They must be exposed, investigated and brought to justice. Jamaica must reject this criminal political allegiance an alliance that has held our country hostage for too long. Now is the time to stand with the police, the military and every law-abiding citizen who wants a safer Jamaica. Let us be clear, if these planned massacres are not stopped in time, the blood of the innocent will not only stain our street, it will stain our democracy forever. So police, military, people, Dr. Chang, Prime Minister and journalists, act before it's too late. Protect the people in Jamaica from these people. As Chargie Badness spilled the blood-stained secret of the PMP LGBTQ criminal organization, a deadly election plot uncover. In a country where democracy is already fragile and bloodshed too often define our political history, a new and chilling revelation has surfaced. And this is almost strike at the heart, at the very heart of national security, public safety and the integrity of Jamaica's electoral system. Carriego Chargie Badness Che Barnes, infamously known as the Don for Gregory Park Gulf, has openly discussed a horrific massacre he was allegedly recruited to supervise an organized, politically motivated slaughter of innocent Jamaicans, scheduled to unfold on the eve of the next general election. In private conversation, Chargie revealed that high-ranking members of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization operating under political mask of the People's National Party allegedly plotted to unleash terror on JLP-dominated communities such as Clark Avenue and other areas within Portmore municipality. The plot massacred the innocent to suppress votes to turn out. According to Chargie, Mark Gummibeer Golding, Dayton Campbell, Peter Bunton and Raymond Pryce were either directly or indirectly involved in the orchestrator of a sinister plot to murder innocent citizens en masse in the Jamaica Labour Party communities the night before national election. The reason, cold and calculated, dead people can't vote. That's what them say. So that's why them want to kill people. What a wicked set of people them, man. Dead people can't vote. All them come by that. They must see themselves as human beings. They must see themselves as Jamaicans. You know? Boy, I mean, I tell you, you know, this is just us evil, you know? The horrific massacre he was allegedly recruited to supervise. Boy, I mean, I tell you, them people are just evil. So the reason Them said dead people can't vote. Let that sink in. The goal was not to win hearts, minds, or debate, but to win by body count. That's what them say. The PMP goal is not to win the election by votes, is to win by body count. And this is just evil at its core. To rig democracy through the barrel of the gun, to reduce voter turnout by using murder as a political strategy. These are not actions of leaders. They are actions of political warlords waging psychological and physical warfare on their own people. Chargie disclosed that he was previously given 5 illegal guns by Raymond Pryce during the 2020 general election to secure the year. But when asked to return the weapon, he refused. That refusal led to tension and eventually a breakdown in the relationship. And the relationship rekindled in 2023 when them killed Sweeney and Rum Punch. This is no longer politics. This is domestic terror threat. This is not a campaign rhetoric. This is premeditated murder for political gain. The implications are enormous. It means the upcoming election may not be tainted by a criminal interference, but also drenched in the blood if the state does not act. The Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defence Force must immediately treat this information as an active threat to national security. This is a conspiracy to commit mass murder and election interference. The highest level of political leadership. The following urgent action must be taken. Initiate full-scale investigation into Mark Gummerbeer Golden, Raymond Pryce, Peter Bunting, Dayton Campbell, and all others named. Conduct immediate interviews and surveillance on known criminals enforcers within the Gulf and Gregory Park region and others. Yogi from Swallowfield. Deploy military and police presence to JLP stronghold across St. Catherine and other identified flashpoints. Seize all known weapons in circulation and arrest individuals in possession of unlicensed firearms. Request assistance from international electoral observers, Interpol, and the U.S. State Department if necessary. The people of Jamaica are watching. The international community is watching. And most importantly, the family living in fear within JLP communities are pleading for protection. This is a line in the sand moment for the Prime Minister and Jonas and the Jamaica Labour Party-led administration. Now that you are in possession of this information, credible, detailed and dangerous, you have a duty to act. Failure to respond appropriately would mean the state is complicit in allowing these treasonous acts to proceed unchecked. The government must treat this not as politics, but a matter of life and death. If those who wish to govern Jamaica believe they must kill Jamaicans to gain power, then they have already disqualified themselves from leadership. Mark Gummerbeer Golden, along with all of the members of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, we have seen where they have kidnapped and killed Lana, yes, from Swallowfield, Lana Nikki Robertson, and the men who are responsible for the killing are still there. Yogi is supposed to be at the departure lounge, and Tammy Lee Sparta, and the others. And if the government fails to stop them, then the blood spill will be on your hands too. History remember who acted and who turned a blind eye. Them say dead people can't vote, but the nation that allowed killers to govern is already dead. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.